Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for clicking, for joining. This is our YouTube Live and also our TikTok Live. So you're going to see me go back and forth here and there, but it's because we are live on both YouTube and also on TikTok. So my name is Fatma, and this is the WellnessKE channel. I want to welcome all of you to this live, and I hope it's going to be beneficial to each and every one of you. And I know we have some new members here who are from Mombasa, from Malindi, from Kisumu, and also from outside Kenya. We have Nigeria, we have Ghana, we have Sierra Leone, we also have Turkey, we have so many other countries. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that each and every one of you have been sending in your messages and also taking in the advice that we've been sharing to help you. So today it's actually going to be a very quick live because I wanted to come here and assist you with a little bit of information, hoping it's going to be beneficial. And the information will be on how to get your period back naturally. And also, I want to specifically focus on some shocking new discoveries. You actually are not going to believe some of the reasons why your period is missing and some of the things that you can do, little things that you can do every day at home that are going to help you in bringing your period back naturally. So, if you're new here, welcome. Don't forget on our YouTube channel, WellnessKE, subscribe, hit that button so that every time we go live and we also post a new video, you get to know about it. And on TikTok, Fatma Sparkle, make sure that you also follow, make sure you send in your messages, and you'll find our WhatsApp number on each and every video that we post. We always leave our WhatsApp number there. So let me start the conversation by discussing menstruation. So, reason why I picked this topic is because there are so many of you who have been sending me messages about missing your period. Basically, some of you have been missing your period and you don't know why. And then there's some of you who have been on contraceptives, and the moment you stopped, you haven't gotten your period back. And then there's some of you who have been missing your period because you discovered you have cysts, PCOS. And there's some of you who don't even know why you're missing your period. But the truth is that there are many, many messages that we receive regarding missing periods. And I felt like this is a topic that affects so many of you. And that is why I wanted to just share some tips. So, in order for us to understand how we can naturally get our period back, we have to go back and understand our physiology, our body as women, our bodies as women, and how we end up even having a period in the first place. So it's very important for you to understand that because it's going to allow you to go to the root cause and understand why your period is missing in the first place. So in order for you to have a period, you know that we actually have a cycle every month. Your period is meant to flow every month. The thing is that when you ask any woman what is needed in order for you to have your period, most of the times you hear someone say your ovaries, your fallopian tubes, your uterus, and they are not wrong. It's just that we have to go even further back and start from a very, very important part of our body that actually leads us to having our period. Once we focus on this, then and only then can we solve the issue as to why we're not getting our period. So our period doesn't just start at the ovaries and the fallopian tubes and uterus. It actually starts all the way back, and that is in our brain. So at the back of our brain, rather, we have glands, two glands, the hypothalamus gland and the pituitary gland. In order for you to understand this well, just understand that a gland is usually a very tiny, I don't know what to call it, not an organ, but it's usually very tiny, and its purpose is usually to secrete hormones. So basically, you can have a gland like a hypothalamus gland, your salivary glands, your mammary glands. Glands normally secrete hormones majority of the times in your body. And so at the back of your brain, you actually have two glands that are very important, which are the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. And these two glands are meant to be the starting point of you getting your menstruation every month. Because what they do is they release very important hormones, and these hormones are like signals, and they signal your ovaries to tell your ovaries it is time for your ovaries to produce estrogen, progesterone, so that you can have menstruation. So really, when you think about it, menstruation starts all the way back in your brain. So this is why when we are struggling with issues like missing menstruation, you also have to look at issues like stress. And also sometimes you'll find that if the case is very severe, your doctor might ask for you to get an MRI just to check your brain, because they're trying to see if there's a tumor in your hypothalamus or pituitary gland that could be causing an overproduction of certain hormones or underproduction of certain hormones, and then they affect the hormones that your ovaries produce, so that such that now you don't actually get your period. So, as I mentioned, your period actually starts all the way at the back of your brain. Your hypothalamus and pituitary secrete certain hormones. These hormones then prompt and signal your ovaries to produce estrogen and progesterone. And this is important because this is where now you get to go through something called ovulation, whereby an egg will be released from your ovaries, and then this egg matures, it travels through the fallopian tubes, and then you are expecting the egg, or rather, your body is expecting that the egg will be fertilized by sperm. So, if you do get to have sexual intercourse unprotected, then you're going to have your egg fertilized. But if you don't, then that means the uterine lining that was growing needs to shed, and when it sheds, that's when you have menstruation. So when you think about it, there are many moving parts in order for you to actually get your period every month. But today we want to understand, why is it that the period can actually just stop in some women, and you actually end up having issues whereby you find you are missing your period for 4 months or for 5 months or for a year or for years. And what are the dangers? That's also something very important we're going to focus on. So reasons why you might be missing your period, I'm going to put this all together with the remedies, such that when I mention the reason or the cause for missing period, I'll actually mention the remedy. That way we save up on time and we can also learn a lot in a short period of time. So I'm going to start from the very top. I know I have mentioned about hormones, but I really feel like so many of us as women have not understood what hormones do and what role they play in order for us to get to have our period. For instance, a hormone like estrogen is very important because it's supposed to lead to growth and development of any part of your body, like your breasts. When they grow and develop as you mature, estrogen is responsible. At the same time, in order for you to have your period, you know that at certain point of the month, period of the month, you actually get to have a uterine lining that grows. And when that uterine lining grows, it's because it is preparing for a future possible pregnancy. But then the pregnancy doesn't happen, and if it doesn't happen, then that uterine lining that was growing needs to shed. Now, estrogen is responsible for this uterine lining to grow because it's a hormone that leads to cell growth or proliferation, like it makes cells grow. And so it's important for you to know that if you're missing your period, you actually have to focus on your hormones. You have to focus on your hormone health, because your hormones are the reason why you end up having your period in the first place. Okay, so if you are underproducing certain hormones or overproducing certain hormones, then you're not going to get your period every month. It's going to be irregular, and it's also going to be missing. So let's start with reason number one. So the first reason as to why you are not getting your period is, the first one is your diet. Poor diet or malnutrition. Okay. Poor diet is something that so many women struggle with, and it's because of many factors. The first one could be ignorance. You're actually not aware why you're being told to eat your fruit and vegetables, and and avoid certain foods. So you are ignorant. You think that this information is put out there is very cliche, but you have not understood as to why a proper diet is going to be important for you in order for you to get your period. Now, for me to explain poor diet or diet in general, let me focus on two very important things. The first one is under eating. Okay. There are cases where you have taken yourself through extreme diets such that you're not eating enough, and you're also not getting enough nutrition from the food that you eat. The second one is also deficiencies. So poor diet also leads to deficiencies. So you are going to be deficient in vitamins, in minerals in your body. And these are very important in order for you to actually get to have your menses every month. If we can give a basic example, a very common deficiency is iron deficiency. So many women struggle with iron deficiency because we are the ones who get to menstruate every month. And most of us are struggling with hormonal imbalance, so our period is heavier than normal. We also get our period for more days than normal, so probably like 5 to 6 days. And so in the end, you find every month you actually are missing a portion of iron because of menstruation. And so when we think about it, an iron deficiency is one of the major reasons why you find that women are struggling with missing periods. And I'm going to go further and explain. So there's something very interesting that happens in your body when you are deficient in iron. Your body is going to try and protect you from actually having a period. This is the genius of the human body, is that if you have a deficiency in iron, your body is going to stop you from going through any kind of process that will lead to more iron being taken away. For instance, a period will take away more iron. So your body will actually stop you from getting a period. Or a pregnancy. A pregnancy is going to be very taxing because you're going to need more iron for your baby. And so your body is going to stop you from becoming pregnant so that you do not lose any more iron. Basically, the genius that is your human body is that it tries and protects you from anything that will take away any more iron if you are iron deficient. And this is a true story. I actually was with someone at the hospital and I had taken her to go and see a gynecologist. And this gynecologist actually checked her blood levels and found out that she was very low in iron. And he told her, like, this is why you're missing a period. I'm surprised because your iron levels are so low. Because they're so low, your body will not even allow you to have a period. And so this is actually very, very important for us to remember. An iron deficiency will lead to you missing a period. So how can you know that you're deficient in iron? If you get constant headaches, if your skin is very pale, if you have very brittle, weak nails, if you're always out of breath, if you can't even go up the stairs without breathing heavily because you're that tired, if you have restless legs, meaning your legs are always just shaking all the time, usually this is a sign of low iron. Also, if you struggle with early miscarriages, meaning the first trimester, you always struggle with miscarriages. Normally, this is mostly an issue of iron because, as I said, your body is going to try and protect you from having a pregnancy. So it will get rid of the pregnancy in case it ever happens. And so, if you look at all these factors, you're going to try and do something very, very simple. Getting an iron test is going to allow you to know your levels in the body. And I know whenever we go to hospital, we always get our CBC, which is our blood count taken. This is usually when they check, your iron levels in the body. That test is important. It's very important. But there's also another test that is even way more important than that. And that's called your ferritin test. Ferritin, ferritin test. So the ferritin test is a test that's very important because it's the only test that's going to tell you if you are deficient in iron, because it'll give you the true markers, like if your markers are very low. And also the ferritin test tells you your iron reserves. How much do you still have left? And if you don't have enough, then you will actually get, this test will give you the right, results. Now, if you want to get this test, you can go to any hospital. If you're in Kenya and you're in Nairobi, you can go to Kenyatta Hospital. I know that they offer this test. The charges are 1,000 shillings, and you can be able to get this test. You can get your ferritin test. At the moment, they did say that they don't have it right now, but in a couple of weeks, they will bring it back. But that's just one thing that you can do. Or if you're calling any other hospital, ask them, get the number online, call them, call the lab, or rather call the hospital and then ask for the lab. And then once you get the lab, ask them for a ferritin test and how much that's going to be. Once you get those details, tell them that you'd like to come in and get that test. Usually it doesn't take very long. The longest is going to take you, they say, is about 2 hours or 3 hours, and you can actually get your results. Now, I'm taking more time to explain about iron because this is one of the major reasons why you are missing your period. It's because you have low iron levels. As I mentioned, if you have low iron levels, your body will protect you from a period and it will not even allow you to have the period. So make sure that you get that test so that you know your iron reserves. And if your iron levels are low, please make sure that you reach out so that we can be able to assist you, because we have both natural remedies and we also have our nutrition plan that actually supports. It's a 30-day menstrual health plan that supports, replenishes iron, and gives you even better results and increases your iron reserves, such that when you do go back to get your test, you'll find that your ferritin levels have actually increased. So that's important. Now, another one under diet is B vitamins. I have to focus on this because it's very important. So, there are many vitamins that are very, very essential. But we talk about B vitamins because they are a group of vitamins like vitamin B12, B6, and I'm sure you've heard about these vitamins. But it's because they're very essential in many processes in the body. Basically, they are a set of vitamins that are involved in many bodily processes. For instance, a perfect example is like vitamin B6. It is important because it is involved in so many processes and reactions in your body, including even the formation of red blood cells. It assists in the formation of red blood cells. And so, if you are low in B vitamins, then you're going to struggle as well in getting your period, because you are going to struggle with low iron levels, and because it's going to affect your red blood cells. So this is another good way for you to actually tackle that. And you can increase your B vitamins and also your iron by eating more animal protein. Okay, I know plant protein is important. It's very healthy for us, like spinach and greens. They're all very healthy. They give us fiber. They have a lot of phytonutrients and healing properties. So we never stop eating those. But I want you to understand, when you eat animal protein for iron and for B vitamins, you actually get a bigger percentage and it's easily absorbed in your body. So you're going to get it especially from organ meats like liver, like kidney, like heart. These contain way more than if you were to just eat plants alone. Add the plants, but then also add the organ meats. So in terms of diet, making sure that you avoid things like, junk food and sugary foods and fried foods, and also alcohol, because they deplete. Alcohol basically depletes your B vitamins. So if you're talking about, missing your period, the more alcohol you drink, the less B vitamins you have, the less iron you're going to have, and you're probably never going to see your period. So I focus on diet a lot because, I'm very big on healthy eating, because I really feel like it's what's going to solve 99% of your problems. So now let's move on to the next one. And the next one is your weight. Weight management is one of the main reasons why so many women are struggling with missing period. So how will you know that you are at a healthy weight? And then also, how does weight play a role? Basically, when you are overweight or when you are underweight, you're not going to be able to be healthy enough to support the bodily processes and the hormone production that leads to you having your period. Let's look at an example of being overweight. When a person is overweight, majority of the times, or rather, let me say this, when a woman is overweight, majority of the time she's going to struggle with issues like inflammation, which is really a big factor, and it can actually interfere with your menses. Also, when you are overweight, you're going to struggle with something known as insulin resistance, which is just a state whereby your body does not identify or even recognize the insulin that your pancreas produces. So you're going to constantly be in a state of high blood sugar levels of course, in your blood. And this is actually going to affect you because it can lead to the formation of cysts and PCOS, and it can also stop you from having your menses. And another important thing, when you're overweight, it actually means you have more fat cells. And when you have more fat cells, that simply means that you have more estrogen. Because as I mentioned, estrogen is produced by your ovaries. Estrogen is also produced by your adrenal glands, which are just two tiny glands that are located on top of your kidneys. And then estrogen is also produced by your fat cells. So if you have a lot more fat cells, then you're going to have a lot more estrogen. And unfortunately, when you have a lot more estrogen and it's in excess, you're going to be in a state of imbalance. That means that your estrogen is going to be more dominant and your progesterone is going to be deficient. And this in itself is one of the major reasons why women are struggling with irregular periods and missing period. So your weight is important for you to, look into. And one of the best ways you can do this is, first of all, you start from today knowing your weight. Okay, I know it's a Sunday, but let's talk about Monday. From tomorrow, that is, you can try your best to know what's your current weight. Okay, and then you won't stop there. You'll go further and find your height measurements. If you can't get your height and weight measurements, then the next time you're at the mall, instead of going to the pizza place and getting pizza and ice cream, you can go and find, those guys who actually check your height and your weight, and there's a machine there. And then when you check your height and weight, they give you a certain receipt and you can be able to see. That's what I actually did last year when I found out that I was overweight. I went to the mall, and while I was there, I saw a machine. I checked my height and my weight, and I found out that I was overweight. And that's what set me on the journey to losing 13 kilos. So when you go to the mall and get your height and weight checked, I want you to remember these numbers, because these numbers will actually help you in knowing if you are overweight and if you are at par with your body mass index. The reason why we're talking about body mass index is because this BMI will determine whether you are able to get your period or not. If you are overweight, if you are obese, then you're going to struggle in getting your period. Another very simple thing you can do is also get yourself a weighing scale. I did the same thing, because a weighing scale will guide you as you are at home. A weighing scale will guide you. You will check your weight. You already know your height from checking it at the mall. You actually check your weight every now and then to know that you're at a healthy weight, because a good way for you to calculate your body mass index is to just go on Google and type BMI calculator. When you type BMI calculator, it's going to ask you for your height and your weight details. So now you already know your height, you know your weight. You'll actually just fill in, for instance, it will ask you for your age. You say you're 38. Your height, 5'6". Your weight, 70 kilos. And you will click on your gender, which is female, and then calculate. Once you've calculated, it will tell you if you are underweight or if you are overweight. And I want you to try this today. Before you go to bed, make sure you try this so that you can be able to know your BMI. If you're missing your period, you need to know your body mass index. Once you have these numbers, then you are well on your way to finding out how best you can bring your period back. Your weight is very important. Okay. Now, another very big one is stress management. Stress management is one of the reasons why, or rather, stress is one of the reasons why you're missing a period, and stress management is one of the ways you can bring a period back naturally. So, stress is anything that puts your body in a state of discomfort, and stress actually really strains your body in such a way that how it affects you is a very interesting way. When you are stressed, your body immediately is going to do its best to protect you and to get rid of that stress, because it does not like stress. So, for instance, you are stressed mentally. Your body is going to shut all systems and all processes just so it can focus on that stress that you're going through. And in the process, you can end up being deficient in, vitamins and minerals, because you're not absorbing food well, or nutrients well. You can end up being losing too much weight or gaining too much weight because you produce too much cortisol that will lead to a lot more weight. A lot more weight can also lead to issues related to you missing your period. So basically, I want you to remember that time in school when you had your exams. It was a very stressful time, and you find that so many women will even admit that it was at that time where they noticed either their period was just way too painful, way too heavy, or they just did not get their period at all. If the stress was like that bad, which most of the times it was a lot of pressure, you actually ended up missing your period. And so because of that, it's we have to understand just the impact stress has on our menses. And as I mentioned, our period starts in our brain. So if it starts from there and we are constantly stressed and we are constantly releasing this cortisol hormone, which is a stress hormone, it's actually going to put us under even more stress, and it'll shut every other system in our body, including our cyclical systems like our menses. And so we end up missing our menses. One of the best things that you can do, relaxation methods. And I always share videos with anyone who asks me on WhatsApp. If you have the number on WhatsApp, send us a message and we'll be able to help you with some videos that are going to help you. Relaxation methods that are going to be able to help you if you are undergoing any kind of stress. Please remember, I've already mentioned 4 reasons why your period is missing and how you can be able to bring it back naturally. Do not overlook these, because they are the reason why so many of us women are struggling right now. So try and look at yourself and see, are you going through stress? Are you overweight? Is your diet poor? These things will actually help you big time. And now another reason as to why you're struggling with your period, it's missing and you need to do something about it. Um, just the fact that as women right now, our hormones are imbalanced. They are out of whack. A basic example is a hormone like estrogen and progesterone. If you can remember in school, you used to, at the playing ground, there was something called a seesaw, and you would play at the seesaw whereby one child would sit on one side, and when they sat, it just went high on the other side if you were on the other end. And then if you went down, it went up. And so when you think about the seesaw, this is the relationship that estrogen and progesterone has. When estrogen is high, progesterone lowers, and when progesterone lowers, then you're definitely going to have estrogen dominant type of characteristics. Okay. Now, because our hormones are needed in order for us to have our period, when we have an imbalance, we're not going to be able to have our period. And how can you know that your hormones are imbalanced? Majority of the times you start with issues like your menses. Either it starts being too heavy, too painful, clots in the period, or too light, okay, or even missing or irregular. And this is usually the major sign, okay? And then secondly, maybe constant fatigue, mood swings, irritability. Your skin also has acne, stubborn marks that cannot just fade without, you've tried everything. And also your libido lowers, your sex drive. And also some women struggle with hot flashes. All these are just signs of hormonal imbalance. And the best way is for you to actually get a hormone panel test. So you can be able to get this at the hospital. You, again, I've mentioned you can check the number of the hospital online, ask for the lab, call and ask for the lab, and ask them for a hormone panel test. Tell them you want to check for estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. They'll tell you that that test is available. Ask them for the price, ask them if your insurance covers it. Once you have this information, tell them I'd like to come in and get this test done. This is the best thing you can ever do for yourself. I've actually said this year, this is the year that you should actually spend your money on your health, such that you can be able to do the things that you've always wanted to do. Without good health, you're not going to be able to have a good quality life. So a hormone panel test will help you in knowing the imbalances that are present. Now, how can you be able to balance your hormones? This is why I really, really wanted for all of you to actually keep track as I'm having this conversation. Yeah. Because so far we've had so many women, and I say Alhamdulillah to that, who have been able to bring their period back. And that's because we have our 30-day menstrual balance plan, which is a diet plan. It's helped all the women who are out of the country, who are not able to access the products and we are not able to send them to them. The plan has still been able to help them in balancing the hormones and bringing fresh oxygenated blood into the uterus, and they are able to have their period. And other than that, we also have a menstrual health package. This is a amenorrhea package that actually helps every single one of our ladies to bring back their period naturally. Now, this particular package contains herbal teas and herbal oils. And these herbal teas and herbal oils are very important because you take them at specific times and specific days. So, for instance, on a Monday, you start your day with our womb cleanse oil, fasting in the morning before you eat anything. Then you have your cup of green tea. And then after lunch, and then after dinner, there are certain teas that you're supposed to take. And this plan actually runs all the way through from Monday to Friday to the weekend. And guess what? All the ladies who have been able to get the menstrual health package have been able to bring their period back. The quickest was 3 days. And we even received another message today from someone, one of our ladies who was missing her period for a long time, and she has been able to actually bring her period back. So, if you're looking to balance your hormones naturally and you do not want to add any more hormonal pills into your body, this is one of the best ways for you to do it. And I always leave the number, the WhatsApp number, so that you can be able to place your orders and you can be able to receive. If you're in Kenya, you're in Uganda, you're in Tanzania, you're in Somalia, you're in Rwanda, you're in Burundi, all these are countries we can be able to deliver to. And if you're a little bit far away, that's okay. As I mentioned, we have our menstrual health plan. That's a 30-day menstrual health plan that is actually going to allow you to get your period back. And it's all guided. It's a step-by-step process. And there's some remedies in there that are written so that you can be able to follow and prepare with enough instructions and directions for you to be able to get your period back. Now, some honorable mentions are for you to try your best to actually add a couple of minutes of exercise in your day. This is going to be very beneficial. And I say this because I know some of our ladies who, especially those who are over 40, who are struggling with getting their period. Whenever I suggested exercise, they're like, but how are we going to do it? Our lives are so busy and all that. But the moment they started, it helped them it really was very beneficial. So, if you're looking to find a better way, a natural way for you to bring your period back, please make sure that you comment below so that I can be able to assist you. The intention is that all of you can be able to go back to that natural cycle every month in getting your period. I don't want for you to lead a life where you are not healthy and it's because maybe you don't know what to do and how you can be able to be helped. All these remedies I've mentioned, majority of the times they're not focused on. You see that most of the times people go straight into maybe hormonal pills or contraceptives. But I just want for you to understand your body needs to naturally know that every month it is supposed to be getting a period. And your menses are an indicator of just how healthy you are. They're an indicator of your hormone health. So if you're looking for more information, more products, more guidance, please make sure that you let us know. Comment below here on TikTok. Thank you so much to all of you ladies who are always sending in your messages. And thank you to all of you who have been following the instructions and actually doing something about your health. And I always wish you the best health. And also here on YouTube, thank you so much because all of you always send in your messages. You also follow the instructions, even the recipes we've posted. I always get your messages and your comments, especially under our Ceylon tea recipe. And it's been helping so many of you. So I'm grateful for that. So I tried my best to just shrink everything in a few minutes so that I don't bore you and give you too much information. But if you like these kind of lives, please let me know in the comment section so that I can be doing more of the lives. That way you can be able to also get information. And then if you have a topic that you'd like for us to go through and to discuss, please let me know. That way I can be able to also share with you. I want to leave you with this. Tomorrow I'm going to be live on Milele FM and we're going to be discussing contraceptives and whose responsibility is it in the family to actually be on contraceptives. Is it should it be the woman? Should it be the man? And if it's the woman, why is it that it's women? And do we know the side effects of contraceptives, and can we be able to find a better way? So if you are anywhere where you can be able to tune into Milele FM, make sure you tune in starting from around 11:30, 12, all the way to 1 o'clock. We always have a great discussion. Thank you so much, ladies. If you found this conversation helpful, make sure you let me know in the comment section. Thank you to all of you on TikTok. I love you so much, all my ladies who are from Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and everywhere else in the world. Thank you, West Africa, South Africa. Thank you so much, Europe. All of you are always sending me amazing messages, and I love you so much for that. Thank you to my YouTube family. You guys have been there from the beginning on WellnessKE, and I love you so much for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope this information is going to be helpful. If it has, let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.